Just stop for a second. Sit here with me. Let your mind quiet down enough to finally hear what your soul has been screaming at you for years. Some of your hurts don't even ache anymore. Not because they're gone, but because you've just learned to live with the pain. Those deep scars don't shock you now, not because they're closed, but because you tiptoe around them every day. It's like dodging a sharp piece of broken glass on the kitchen tile, but you never actually bend down to clean it up. I don't want you calling numbness peace. I don't want you to mistake silent survival for real growth, nor do I want you convincing yourself that carrying a broken heart is just your life sentence now. The scripture in Isaiah 61 verse 1 says, "I was sent to bind up the brokenhearted." And if I sent a healer to the broken, why would you think your pain is a place I ever wanted you to settle down and live in? I saw you smile while you were bleeding inside, saying you were fine just so people would stop asking questions. You told yourself that everyone suffers, so you had no right to feel weak. But listen to me. Just because the world is hurting doesn't mean your pain is okay. You can't call a dry desert a garden just because things used to bloom there. An untended heart doesn't heal just because years go by. Time can bury memories in dust, but only grace can heal the actual root of the pain. You buried those fractures under hard work, under a brave face, under endless distractions, telling yourself everything will just work out. But some things don't fade away on their own. You have to drag them into my light, put them under my hands and name them so they stop holding you hostage. I don't blame you for learning how to survive. I know there were times you didn't have the strength to do anything but put one foot in front of the other. I know those nights when you begged yourself to just hold on and not fall apart for 24 more hours. But today I'm not asking you to just get by. I'm telling you to start living again. You weren't made to be a locked room full of buried tears. You weren't built to make friends with your agony or to treat the gashes in your soul like old furniture in your living room. Psalm 147:3 says, "I heal the brokenhearted and bind up wounds." Listen to me closely. I'm not telling you to paint over the damage. I'm not asking you to mask it with a fake smile or pretend you're strong. I don't want you to just get used to this forever. I promise to heal you because I can't stand watching you slowly bleed out in the dark. Think of the paralyzed guy sitting by the Bethesda pool for 38 long years. He spent so much time waiting for something to happen that being helpless just became his normal daily routine. When my son found him there, he didn't judge him. He just asked one sharp question. Do you want to get well? Like we read in John 5:6. I didn't ask because I didn't know his pain, but because real healing only starts when your soul finally refuses to accept its prison. I'm asking you the exact same thing today. Do you really want to get well? Not just stop the hurting for an hour, not just get a quick break, not just have someone feel sorry for you, but to let me reach deep inside to that dark corner you've been avoiding for years. Maybe you're terrified of answering, because getting healthy means you can't hide behind those old excuses anymore. Healing forces you to let go of your comfortable misery, even if that pain was the only thing explaining why you gave up on hope, why you stopped loving, why you stopped moving. But look, I'm not going to drag you out of there roughly. I'm like a gardener who knows every single root and every dead branch and every fragile green sprout. I won't crush what's trying to grow inside you. I'm going to prop it up. I'm not digging up your whole yard just because a few patches died. I'll water it, trim it, care for it, and breathe warm life back into places you thought were dead. Remember John 15:2. He trims every branch that yields fruit so it can grow even stronger. My touch might sting a bit, but that is the ache of repair, not ruin. Stop calling a cold, hard heart protection. Stop pretending that feeling absolutely nothing is peace. Stop calling those brick walls wisdom. I want to give you a heart that's soft but tough as nails. A soul that loves deeply but keeps its eyes wide open. A spirit wide open to the light and strong enough to keep the shadows from moving back in. Ezekiel 36:26 promises, I'll give you a brand new heart and a fresh spirit. I will tear out that cold stone and give you a warm, beating heart. This is what I want to do inside you. I'm not just painting over the surface. I'm melting what froze over. I don't want to just dry today's tears. I want to bring back the laughter you lost years ago. Let me step into that dark, locked room. Like and subscribe to build this faith community together. Let me reach into those cold memories you shrink from. The exact words that made you question your worth. The losses that left you too afraid to hope for anything good again. You do not have to explain a thing to me. I hear the heavy sobs you could never put into words. I know the exact terrors you're too afraid to name. I did not come to shame you for carrying this pain so long. I came to tell you that you do not have to bleed like this anymore. Come to me, all of you who are exhausted and heavy laden, and I will give you rest, just as Matthew 11:28 promises. That rest is not about forgetting what broke you. It is dropping your heavy pack into the arms of the only one strong enough to fix what you cannot. Right now, I am calling you to stop just surviving and step directly into the light of real healing. Do not wait until you stop shaking before you step forward. Do not wait for your deep wounds to look beautiful before you let me see them. Just show up exactly as you are, exhausted, raw, and desperately searching. Maybe still full of doubt, maybe still bleeding, but ready to be loved. I am going to rebuild the garden inside you. I will soften your parched ground, tear out the bitter roots, and lift your broken branches, and make the sweet scent of grace rise up from the very ruins where nothing but silence lived. You were never meant to spend your whole life bleeding out. You were made to heal, to breathe, to run, and to know that in my hands. No wrecked soul is ever too far gone for a new spring. My child, let your heart rest before you drag that same heavy exhaustion into tomorrow. Look at the morning light cutting quietly through your window. Outside birds are singing and the world is rushing by. But deep inside your chest, it is freezing cold, like a concrete room that has been locked up for years. You wake up, punch the clock, say the right things, and put on a show so everyone thinks you are fine. But down in the dark, there is a hollow ache you cannot even name. My child, I see that pain. When the spark of joy completely dies out inside you, when the sunrise fails to move you, and every morning feels like a lead weight pressing on your chest. This is not just normal fatigue. It is the raw, silent scream of your soul begging for my touch. My soul thirsts for God, for the living God. Psalm 42, verse 2. You cannot drown that thirst in endless work, constant noise, or hollow self-talk. You cannot just pretend it will drift away. I watched you through those brutal nights when nobody knew how close you were to breaking. I saw you choke down your tears in the dark. I watched you fake a laugh so no one would ask questions. You kept telling yourself you were fine, even while your spirit went completely limp, empty of wind. You tried to survive by just pushing through, working harder, taking the hits, and meeting everyone else's demands, burying the pain deeper and deeper. But let me tell you, just taking the blows is not healing. Staying busy is not progress. Staying quiet is not peace. Your wounds do not vanish just because you stopped talking about them. They just burrow into the dark, waiting for the moment you finally collapse. I am not accusing you, but let me ask, are you actually free inside? Is there real peace in your soul? Or have you just gotten so used to the grinding weight of suffering in silence that you do not even notice how low your shoulders are bending? Do not be terrified to look directly at the shadows you have been dodging. I know why you look away. It is not because you are weak. You do it because those raw memories make your soul shake the second you touch them. Wounds you thought were gone, but were actually just buried under the dust of years. You are terrified that if you pause for even a second, the whole fragile wall you built will crumble. You worry that if you let the tears start, you will drown in them. You fear that admitting the pain makes you vulnerable, that you will lose the tough armor you fought so hard to build. But understand, this real strength is not about acting indestructible. It is having the guts to bleed right in front of me. Drag your heavy, exhausted self into my space, and I will give you rest. Just as Matthew 11:28 says, I do not expect you to sweep up the wreckage before you show up. Come while you are still broken, bleeding, utterly lost, and heavily weighed down, not knowing where to start. Remember the prophet Elijah, who stood like a stone wall before the crowd, who watched my raw power tear through Mount Carmel, seeing fire crash down from heaven, only to run away terrified and completely spent. He collapsed under a dry bush, so broken that he begged for death. Do you see it, my child? Even a warrior who stood tall in my name could hit a wall of absolute despair deep inside. But I did not scream at him for being weak. I did not demand to know why he lost his nerve. I sent an angel down to touch him, bringing bread and water so he could eat, rest, and keep going until my whisper finally reached him. And just like that, my child, I am not here demanding you force yourself to stand up right away. Sometimes the most sacred thing you can do is let me feed you. Let me give you rest. To let me remind your exhausted soul that you are not abandoned. You have spent years learning to hold yourself together, thinking that constant struggle is what faith looks like. But faith isn't carrying the whole world on your back and calling it maturity. Faith is handing over what you are too exhausted to hold. It is having the courage to say, Father, I need you. Saying it without an ounce of shame. I never built you to live outside of my embrace. When I breathed life into your lungs, I never put the heavy burden of saving yourself onto your shoulders. I made you to walk with me, to lean hard on me, and to lay your heaviest burdens down before they crush your chest. Cast all your anxieties on him, because he cares for you, just like 1 Peter 5:7 says. Not just a piece, not only the lighter struggles, or the things you think are clean enough to show me, but every single thing draining your strength. I want to step into those dark rooms you have locked tight, not to break down the door or to judge you, but with the quiet touch of a father who knows your pain. Let me touch those memories you dread, the grief you never speak aloud, and the disappointment buried under your duties, the quiet tears you swallowed on the days when nobody stopped to ask if you were okay. I am not asking for a perfect explanation of your scars. I knew them before you spoke. I just cannot stand watching you suffer alone inside them anymore. Psalm 34:18 promises that I am close to the brokenhearted, and I rescue those whose spirits are crushed. So stop believing the lie that your mess keeps me away. It is exactly in those broken places that I draw close, bending down to wrap up the wounds you cannot heal alone. My child, your soul does not need another distraction to mask the ache. It needs raw truth. It needs light. Your soul needs to know you can stop pretending to be tough in front of me. I already see it all anyway. You need a love that never demands a performance. If all you have left is a whispered, desperate prayer, start right there. If all you can manage is sitting in silence with me, just sit And if tears fall, do not fight them. Let them wash away everything you have buried deep down, carrying it back into the light. I will not let you drown in that water. I will pull you up step by step, softening your guard and bringing back a joy that is real. I will teach you how to breathe again, slow and peaceful. So please stop living like your soul does not need care. Come back to me stripped of pretenses. Drop the heavy load you have dragged for so long. Let me hold the exhausted parts of you, the terrified spaces, the bruised pieces that have fought so desperately to prove everything is fine. My love does not fade when you are weak, and I never walk away when you break down. I am not disappointed that you need help. You are my child, and I am right here beside you. When tomorrow morning comes, I want the sunlight to break through your window and fill up your heavy heart too. I want you to wake up to do more than just survive. I want you to start living again. Come close, my child. Drop what you can no longer carry. Safe in my arms, you will see that resting is not a failure, but the exact place where your life begins again. My child, let your racing heart quiet down before you rush to defend everything you have been forcing yourself to believe, love, and hold. The truths I am planting in your soul right now aren't meant to make you doubt or live in fear of other people. They are like a lantern glowing on the porch at midnight, showing you which doors to open and which ones to keep shut. I know how desperately you ache for connection, for someone to just get you, for a shoulder to lean on, without endless explanations. And I do not blame you for that hunger. I built you with the need to love and be loved. But remember, true love will never drag you away from my light. True friendship won't dim your spark, quiet your prayers, or slowly make you doubt the deep value I put inside you. So test the spirits to see if they really come from God. As 1 John 4:1 reminds you, do not just look at the surface of sweet words, warm smiles, or sudden kindness. Look deeper. Ask yourself if they draw your heart closer to me or slowly drift you away. Certain voices slide into your life without sirens or warning signs, just a quiet, comfortable familiarity. They use words that sound wise, but slowly leave your faith completely frozen. Like advice that feels safe, but slowly feeds doubt about what I promised you. Or people who make you feel like you have to dim your own light just to fit in. My child, the dark doesn't need you to walk away all at once. It just waits for you to slip up, inch by inch, compromising piece by piece, until my peace is gone and you're left thinking you're just tired. So listen closely. Let my spirit teach you how to see. True wisdom from above is clean, quiet, and peaceful. It is gentle, fair, and merciful, just as James chapter 3 verse 17 says. When I correct you, it won't crush your spirit. I might show you what's broken, but I'll always lead you back to healing truth and peace, not into chaos, heavy guilt, or hiding from your Father. I'm not asking you to be paranoid, just pay attention. When you walk away from someone, ask yourself, is your faith coming alive, or is it slowly dying out? Do you feel closer to me, or are you forgetting I'm here? Are you growing kinder and more grounded, or is a heavy weight settling on your soul, leaving you restless and confused? Don't ignore those warning signs. My spirit doesn't always scream at you like thunder. Mostly, it's a quiet knot in your stomach, a sudden silence in your chest, a gut feeling that something is off, even when everything on the outside looks perfect. Colossians chapter 3 verse 15 says, "Let the peace of Christ rule your heart." When that peace starts to slip away from a connection, don't pretend it's not happening just because you're terrified of losing them. You might call it love, but if it drags you away from me, we need to drag it into the light. Let me show you what it really is. Think of Samson and Delilah. She didn't attack him with blades on an open field. She won him over with warmth until he finally let his guard down. He could fight off entire armies, yet he crumbled in the arms of someone he refused to look at clearly. Bit by bit, through sweet talk and endless begging, he gave away the secret of his strength. And when he finally woke up, his head shaved, he didn't even realize his power was gone. I didn't put that story in my word to make you fear intimacy. I put it there to show you that your inner strength is worth protecting. Not everyone who gets close to you should be allowed to handle the sacred things I've built inside you. A soft voice doesn't earn the right to rule your mind. Protect your heart fiercely, because everything you are flows from it, just as Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23 warns. That means paying attention to who you're letting plant ideas in your head, your feelings, and your faith. I know you've clung to people in the past, not because they made you better, but because you were terrified of being alone. You told yourself the ache was normal, that everyone hurts, and that just having someone beside you meant you shouldn't expect to have peace too. But I didn't make you to trade your light just to keep a warm body next to you. I don't want you building walls so high that you never trust again. But I also don't want you flinging the doors wide open just because someone knows exactly what to say to make you feel wanted. Real love won't ever make you choose between them and me. The people I bring into your life might tell you hard truths, but they will always guide you back to the light. They won't always make you feel comfortable, but their presence will leave you with clarity, deep peace, and humility, and goodness. As Matthew chapter 7, verse 16 says, "You will know them by their fruit." Don't just listen to their words. Look closely at what they actually leave behind in your soul. If you feel something draining your strength right now, come talk to me before you do anything rash. Don't move out of panic. Don't burn bridges in a fit of rage. And don't stay just because you feel guilty or afraid of being alone. Bring that person, that dynamic, that voice. Bring it all into my light. I see the things you're blind to. I know the intentions hidden deep in their hearts. I hear the quiet things they never say. I'll show you which relationships need work, where you need to draw a hard line, and which doors you have to shut to keep your soul safe. Psalm 32 verse 8 says, "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will guide you with my eye on you." You don't have to stumble through the dark in fear. Let me lead you with peace. Remember, protecting your heart doesn't make you cold. It keeps your love pure. When you let me filter who gets to speak into your life, you don't lose your heart. You protect it. Instead, you are broken free from chains masked as love. I will show you how to love some people from a safe distance. I will teach you to let toxic words roll off you without sinking deep. I will gently pry some hands off your life, not to leave you stranded in the dark, but to clear space for real, honest connections, born in the clean light. Do not flinch when the truth comes to light. What I expose is there to shield you, not to leave you bitter. The things I cut away are meant to free you, not empty you, my child. When you cannot tell who is real, listen closely to my voice. When your heart swings between warmth and warning, lock your eyes on me instead of reading the crowd. The moment you feel my peace slip away, pause and ask why. I will not let you drift into the dark if you genuinely want to walk in the clean light. Bring me your raw truth. Exhausted, mixed up, starving for love, but still aching to do what is right. With me, you can finally just breathe. You do not have to wear a mask and pretend you have it all together. I will rebuild not just the outer walls everyone sees, but the locked, dusty rooms where lies and toxic habits left their deepest scars. As you learn to tune out the noise and hear my whisper, you will stop falling for fake smiles and smooth talk, walking tall in the deep wisdom and quiet love of your Father. My child, let your racing heart finally settle here with me, because what I am rebuilding in you runs deeper than anything you can see right now. You think healing is just when the crying stops and the ache dulls, or when you can finally smile without a heavy chest. But my healing does not stop at the surface. I did not come to slap a cheap bandage over the fractures in your soul. I came to reach the nerve where fear dug its roots, where doubt piled up like grit, where you quietly accepted that you would stay broken forever. I am the voice in Isaiah 43:19 saying, "Look, I am doing a brand new thing. It is breaking through right now." And this shift is not just about your outer world changing, but a raw awakening deep inside you. Clear vision, a softened heart, a soul finally learning to take deep, clean breaths. You used to think you just needed enough smarts to avoid getting hurt again, enough scars to spot the lies, enough muscle to never fall. But real wisdom does not come from controlling the chaos. It comes from staying close to me. Cleverness shows you options, but my presence shows you the only road to real life. Brains can only analyze the wreckage. Only the Holy Spirit exposes what is buried underneath. Which motives are dirty, which cords you need to cut, which promises to hold on to, and which fears are forbidden from driving you anymore. Like James chapter 1 verse 5 says, "If you need wisdom, just ask God." Come to me not as a lonely survivor trying to solve it all yourself, but as a child who trusts that their Father sees through the dark. I will not rush you like this world does. Society wants you patched up fast so you are productive again. They want you quiet so they do not feel awkward. They want you to paint over the rust and call it brand new. But I do not heal under pressure. I heal with love. Every day we will untangle a different knot. Today, that fear of being left behind. Tomorrow, the dark memory that makes you blame yourself. Then the exhaustion that choked out your prayers. I am not going to rip the thorns out of your heart. I will soften them with grace until you trust me enough to hand them over. The 23rd Psalm, verse 3 says, "I restore your soul and lead you down the right paths." And that is exactly how you and I are moving. Not just dragging you out of the dark, but training you to walk in daylight. Remember Naaman, the powerful general covered in leprosy. He had the rank, the fame, the armor. But under those heavy robes of honor lay a rot that no royal doctor could touch. When I brought him to Elisha, the cure looked nothing like he imagined. He wanted some dramatic ritual, a grand gesture fit for a warrior of his status. Instead, I told him to wade into the muddy Jordan River and wash 7 times. It made him furious because curing him required swallowing his pride. But the moment he let go and obeyed, his ruined skin became clean and soft as a newborn. My beloved child, your own healing will start the exact same way. I might ask you to drop the pride that insists you are always fine, to stop demanding that recovery happens on your terms, to finally strip off that heavy armor of false strength that you used to hide your bleeding wounds. The moment you are willing to step into those waters of simple obedience, I am doing what human effort never could. Do not panic when I lead you back to those shadows you ran from. I am not dragging you back there to drown you in regret, but to reclaim what you thought was gone forever. Your tears will become rivers that clear away the haze. Your weakest, most broken moments are where my raw power breaks through. Those brutal, quiet seasons you mistook for absolute isolation. One day, you will see that they were actually the quiet ground where I built a grit and faith that does not rely on shifting emotions. My grace is all you need. My power is made perfect in your weakness, as 2 Corinthians 12:9 declares. So do not hate the moments that made you shake. Hand them to me, and we will turn those scars into sacred ground. I do not want you to just survive the trauma that cut you open. I want you fully alive, breathing a peace that stops faking, with a mind cleared of panic, walking in a freedom that refuses to look back. No scar you hand over to me is ever wasted. Every agonizing loss you drop at my feet will expand your heart, stretch your faith, and teach you to hold others with a raw, honest, and far gentler mercy. Romans 8:28 reminds you that every single piece of your story works together for your good. Get this straight. I do not call evil good, and I do not paint agony as beautiful. But I have the power to take the shattered pieces and reshape them into a real story of my kindness. So open up your heart. Let me breathe fresh air into those deep, quiet corners of your soul you thought had gone cold forever. Let me blow the dust of doubt off your belief. Let us strip away the lies and mend the wings that agony told you were shattered past saving. Stop staring at the ashes as if they are the only thing left of you. Look at me. In my presence, nothing about you is a lost cause. What got broken, I can mend. What was stolen, I can reclaim. What was fragile, I will remake into a stadium for my light. Stand up in the quiet strength of grace. I am repairing you, rebuilding you, pulling you out of the dark mud and back onto solid ground, where you can finally catch your breath in the quiet safety of your Father. Listen to me. Stop waging war against your own chest, pretending you must win some inner battle before you can just rest. Slow your breathing down. Let the shouting voices that demand accuse and pressure and drain you just drift away. I am not asking you to show up with a flawless track record, nor am I demanding you prove you are tough enough, mature enough, or clean enough to be held by me. I knew you long before you learned how to hide. I watched you weep in the silent dark, fake a smile to cover the cracks, and feel a hollow ache you could not even put into words. Before I shaped you, I knew you, just as Jeremiah 1:5 says, "No dark corner in you shocks me. No raw fear makes me turn away, and no wound is too deep for my love to reach." Listen, I do not show up like some polite guest who waits until you have scrubbed every floor clean. I walk right in while the trail dust is still on your boots, while your life is a total mess and old pains still throb in the dark. I do not come to drag up your past mistakes as evidence, but to lift the heavy weight you have dragged for years. Psalm 103:13 says, "A father has compassion on his children," and that is exactly how I feel toward you. My heart is not freezing or miles away, watching you drown from a safe distance. It kneels in the dirt, sits right next to you, waiting for you to drop the guard and unlock the door you shut when the shame got too heavy. There are boarded up rooms in your soul you left empty for so long you forgot they could be healed. You threw blankets of silence over them, drowned them in work, hoping time alone would scab over the wounds. But I know some wounds do not scar over just because years have passed. Some aches do not fade away just because you stopped talking about them. I want to step into those dark, quiet spaces, not breaking down your door, but softly, like summer rain on parched soil, like showers soaking freshly cut grass, pouring over dry ground, just as Psalm 72:6 promises. My grace operates exactly like that, never destroying you, but slowly seeping into the dry cracks, softening the stone, waking up what you thought was dead, and bringing life back to parched hearts. Remember Hosea and Gomer. Like and subscribe to join our community. I ordered the prophet Hosea to love a woman who ran from him, just so my people could see how my own heart breaks for those who wander off. When Gomer sank into the dirt, when everyone else wrote her off, Hosea tracked her down and paid to bring her home. That wasn't some weak love just putting up with the dark. It was a fierce rescue mission, willing to step into the wreckage just to pull his beloved back to where she belonged. My child, I have been searching for you in that very same way, not because you are perfect, but because you are mine. Not because you never fall, but because my grip is stronger than your deepest shame. I love you with an everlasting love, as Jeremiah 31:3 promises. That love does not wear out when you are weak. So let me pull you into a quiet shelter, a sanctuary this cold world could never build. My arms are not a cage to trap you, but the place where you finally remember what it feels like to be safe. You do not have to pretend you are unbreakable. You don't have to explain your tears. You don't have to dress up your prayers to make them sound pretty. If all you can gasp out is, "Father, I am so tired," that is more than enough for my grace to start. Romans 8:26 reminds us that the Spirit steps into our weakness. When you are too broken to find words, the Spirit Himself pleads for you with groans too deep for language. Look at me. Even when your voice fails, heaven does not turn a deaf ear to your heavy heart. Let me show you how to breathe again, not just in your chest, but deep in your soul. I will teach you to trust again, not with some fragile, naive hope, but with a battle-tested faith anchored in what is real. I will show you how to love again, not by abandoning who you are just to feel wanted, but with a heart that rests in my love first. In the dead, dry spaces of your life, I am planting something new. Where you saw dead ends, I am carving out new roads. Isaiah 61:3 promises that I give beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for your grief, and a garment of praise for your heavy, broken spirit. That is what I am doing inside you. I am not just wiping away your tears, but turning the soil where they fell into a field of hope. You are not ruined, my child. I haven't left you in the dust. You are just exhausted from walking so far alone without leaning your weight on me. You have simply forgotten there is a safe place where you can be weak without shame, where you can weep without being rushed to heal, and where you can come back home without being interrogated. Listen closely to the whisper deep inside you. I am not here to condemn you. I am your Father, calling you home. My voice has tracked you down every crooked road, through the long, silent winter, even when you thought you had lost the sound of it forever. My sheep recognize my voice. I know them, and they follow me, as John 10:27 says. Let your heart hear that voice today, and finally find its way home. So breathe. Let go of the heavy burdens you have been dragging around. Let me step into those painful memories, the cold fears, and the barren spaces. Every broken corner you thought was too far gone. I am not in a hurry, and I am not leaving. I will not crush what is already bruised. I will gently gather up your pieces. Survival is not the goal here. I want to breathe real life, raw joy, and deep peace back into you. When you let me touch those hard, frozen places, you will feel the ice start to melt and the soil begin to soften. What was dead and numb will wake up under the gentle breath of my spirit. Step closer. You are not alone in this pitch-black room. I am right here beside you, and my voice is still whispering, leading you back to the life I have always wanted for you. Stay right here for just a moment. Don't rush back into the noise. Sometimes my light doesn't arrive with a loud crash, but slips in quietly, like a warm breath touching the deepest parts of your soul. Maybe in the quiet, empty hours of the night, when everyone else is asleep and the world finally leaves you alone. You've felt a presence watching over you, but my eyes are not searching for your flaws, nor am I looking to dig up everything you did wrong or make you hide in shame. This is the gaze of your Maker, who knew you before you breathed, who has seen the bright days and the pitch-black nights inside you, and still hasn't walked away. As Psalm 139 verses 1 and 2 says, "Lord, you searched me and know me. I know when you sit down and when you stand. That is how deeply I understand you. My child, I know the heavy things you cannot even name, the silent griefs you thought were buried too deep to touch. I see the tiny flickering ember inside you that you have forgotten still burns. This world has so many loud, bright lights, but staring at them only leaves you cold. This world holds up 1,000 cheap lamps promising to guide you to joy, applause, success, and validation. Quick escapes that numb the ache for a minute. Distractions that drown out your quiet inner voice for an afternoon. But when darkness falls, you are still left with a cold, drafty room deep inside your soul. My child, not every glare is a true beacon. Some lights only burn your eyes without ever healing your broken heart. Some roads look wide and paved, but the longer you walk them, the more your soul drifts into the cold. My son declared in John chapter 8 verse 12, "I am the light of the world. Follow me and you will not walk in darkness, but have the light of life." My light does not just show the path ahead. It breathes life back into the tired, worn-out pieces of you that chased false sparks. I am not shouting at a faceless crowd. I am calling out to you by name, using a voice your soul knows instantly. I whisper things that make no sound in your ears, but vibrate deep inside your chest. I do not always arrive like thunder ripping the sky open. Sometimes I am just a drop of oil soaking a dying wick, keeping your small fire from dying completely. You used to think I only showed up in the huge, but I slip into your life quietly, like a sudden calm breath, right in the teeth of your anxiety. A single line of scripture catching fire when you need it most. Tears that clean your eyes instead of drowning you. That quiet second when you close your eyes and feel without a doubt that you are still seen. A bruised reed he will not break, and a faint wick he will not snuff out. Just as Isaiah chapter 42 verse 3 says, "I am not here to crush your fragile remaining strength. I am to shield it, blow breath into it, and let grace kindle it into a steady flame again." Remember, Hagar, lost in the desert, thrown out into the wild, dry waste, certain she was completely invisible. Out there, in the dust, when terror and weeping choked her, I met her, not in a clean palace or among cheering crowds, but right in the dirt where she felt entirely abandoned. And she named me the God who sees. Just like Genesis chapter 16 verse 13 records, "My child, I am looking at you the exact same way, not to judge you, but to pull you out, not to terrify you, but to remind you that your life is worth everything to me. When nobody else gets your story, I do. When you are too exhausted to explain the heavy weight in your chest, I still hear you. When you are lost in the dry, tangled brush of your own mind, my eyes stay on you, gentle, steady, and completely unwavering. Maybe you have spent too long looking through physical eyes, forgetting how to see from within. Physical eyes only see dead ends, failures, and harsh opinions, locked doors, and what you lack. But the eyes of faith look deeper. They spot my hand in the quiet, waiting, the seed breathing under the cold dirt, the sunrise breaking open, while the dark still feels heavy. Paul prayed in Ephesians chapter 1 verse 18 for heart eyes to be opened so you can see the bone-deep hope of my call. That is my desire for you, to open your eyes so you no longer walk like someone trapped in pitch-black rooms. Shut your eyes to the static of this world, and my light will pierce the dark. Not some blinding external glare, but the quiet spark I placed in your soul before you drew your first breath. Wake up to my presence now. Let your racing heart grow quiet. Do not be afraid of the quiet, even if it makes you hear the hard truths you have run from for years. In that silence, I do not abandon you to ache alone. I sit on the floor right beside you. I slip in like a thin line of sun through a cracked door. I will not kick your door down. I am just waiting quietly for you to open it. Revelation chapter 3 verse 20 says, "Look, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens up, I will come in." What do you say? My child, I will never bully your soul with fear. I knock with love. I wait with mercy. And I step in like a father holding a kid who is just too tired to run anymore. You chased cheap things to feel seen, but the faster you ran, the more your spirit faded to gray. Today I am calling you back, not to shame you for looking in the dark, but to give you a taste of a light that never burns out. This light won't shame you for losing your way. It just points you toward home. It doesn't rip open your old wounds to make you hurt more. It shines directly into the cracks, so grace can heal you from the inside out. It won't shrink you. It brings back who you really are. You are my child. I love you. I call you. I hold you. And my light surrounds you. Just stay with me a moment longer. Let the noise fade out. Let those cheap fake lights out there lose their grip on your heart. Let your soul remember where its true fire comes from. Right now, in this quiet, I am touching you, not with loud theatrics, but with my quiet presence. I am pouring fresh oil into your fading lamp. I am softening your dry, brittle places, calling the light buried deep beneath your exhaustion to rise. Don't walk away while I am healing you. Don't turn back just as dawn breaks. The night was brutal, but my light is far stronger than the dark. In this warmth, you will remember that your soul never belonged to the shadows. You belong to me. I am the one who sees you, loves you, and calls you back to life. Breathe, my beloved child. Let me shine a light on something that seems tiny, yet has the power to unlock deep running rivers inside your soul. Your eyes don't just take in the world around you. They are a quiet open door to the very center of who you are. What you stare at becomes what you think about, and whatever holds your thoughts eventually becomes the very thing your heart desires. That desire will silently direct where you walk. That is why my son declared that the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eye is healthy, your whole body is flooded with light. In Matthew 6:22, this means more than physical vision. It is about where your soul looks. Focus on what is pure, and your heart drinks in the light. But when your eyes get used to lingering on things that poison the soul, your inner peace slowly leaks away before you even notice. Some battles don't start with a loud explosion. They creep in through a quick glance, a tiny curiosity you think is harmless, a single image you swear won't hurt you. But hear me, my child. Whatever you let linger in your mind is a seed planted in your heart. Just because a seed is small doesn't mean it lacks the power to grow. Feed a tiny thought with your attention, and it grows into an obsession. Revisit a fleeting image over and over, and it becomes a heavy rope dragging your heart away from what is pure. I am not telling you this to make you fear the world, but to keep you vigilant so you protect the sacred space I built inside you. Proverbs 4:23 reminds you to guard your heart above all else, because the very springs of life flow from it, and your eyes are the path inside. Think of David. I anointed him. He sang my praises, and he brought down Goliath through raw faith. Yet one night, sitting exactly where he should have been on guard. He let his eyes linger on what wasn't his. That single, careless look triggered a deep hunger inside him. That hunger led to secrecy, and from the dark, his mistakes spiraled, bringing heavy pain to so many lives. That account in 2 Samuel chapter 11 isn't there to make you judge him, but to show you that even my closest followers must stand watch at the gates of their souls. Loving me doesn't exempt you from daily vigilance. Even a life burning with holy fire can flicker out if you wander into places where the shadows have set a trap. So do not rely on your own strength. Ask me to guard your eyes, just as Psalm 119:37 prays. Turn my eyes from worthless things and keep me alive through your word. I designed your eyes to capture the beauty of this life, to catch the grace of dawn, to look at people with mercy, and to read my words. I wanted hope to shine through your tears. I never built your eyes to be an open doorway for toxic images that wither your soul, ugly comparisons that make you hate yourself, or dark desires that spark greed, envy, lust, bitterness, or despair. If you constantly stare at what panics you, your soul will start to speak the heavy language of anxiety. When you fixate on things that feed your terror, your heart slowly forgets my quiet promise. If you chase the cheap glare of this world, you will end up exhausted, running after things that blind you but never keep you warm. But when your eyes return to me, your inner life is restored. As Psalm 34:5 says, those who look to him are radiant and never covered in shame. This is where real peace lives, gazing at the one who will never break you. Some things pull you away, not just because they are wrong, but because they lie to you about who you really are. You watch other people and think you are running late. You measure yourself against the crowd and feel completely worthless. You stare at your past and believe change is impossible. You stare at the bleeding wound and forget to look at the healer. My child, your eyes see more than just the walls around you. They choose where your soul anchors. Keep staring at the storm, and you will sink like Peter trying to walk on crashing waves, going under the moment he let the howling wind distract him. But lock your eyes back onto my Son. My grip is already there. I am not angry when you lose focus. I am just calling you back, whispering for you to look at me again, to let real, raw light cut through the fog. So make a serious, quiet promise to your eyes. Like Job said in Job 31 verse 1, I made a covenant with my eyes. That promise is not a cage to make you shrink from life, but raw wisdom guarding the fire inside you. Learn to drag your gaze away from what chokes your heart. Learn to pause before curiosity opens a dangerous door. Learn to ask me, does this pull me toward the light or drag me into the shadows? Does this make my heart more raw and loving, pure and quiet? Or does it leave me restless, bitter, jealous, and hollow inside? My Holy Spirit will teach you real discernment. He will not just tell you no. He warns you by draining the peace from your chest the moment you step toward things that rot your soul. I do not want you just surviving the dark. I want you breathing in the light. Train your eyes to focus on what actually wakes your soul up. My truth. Simple, beauty, and honest, good things. Scraps of grace in a messy workday. The raw faces of hurting people, and the concrete path I am clearing for you. Philippians 4 verse 8 says, whatever is true, honest, and right, whatever is pure, beautiful, authentic, and worthy of praise, let those things occupy your mind. When you choose to look at what is clean, you do not lose freedom. You find a deeper release because your soul is no longer dragged down by heavy, toxic desires. Living clean does not leave you empty. It actually makes you shine. So today, my child, hand your eyes back over to me. Tell me, Father, show me how to look at things. I will wipe away the dust of fear and the fog of old wounds and those cheap fake lights that got you lost. I will teach you to see your own worth, others with mercy traps, with watchfulness, and the future with hope. And remember, I am the fire that never burns out. Lock onto me, and your heart will find north again. Once your eyes are anchored in truth, your entire life starts glowing from inside. Even if the dark still tries to whisper your name in 100 different ways, you won't get lost. The fire in your chest is lit by me, and that light will guide you home in peace, clean and completely free, like a child of heaven. My child, let me cup your eyes with my hands. Not just the physical eyes, looking at the outside world, but the quiet eyes of your soul, where you process everything, storing and carrying heavy things you should have turned away from. You think a quick glance does not matter, a screen sliding past, a flash of curiosity that leaves no trace on your skin. But your inner soul is far more sensitive than you think. Whatever grabs your focus will seep right into your mind. What fills your head will slowly bleed into your emotions. And if it sits there long enough, it will change how you see yourself, others, life, and me. That is why my son said, the eye is the lamp of the body. If your vision is clear, your whole life is flooded with light. In Matthew 6, verse 22, he is not just lecturing you on moral rules. He is warning you about an open door. Whichever way your eyes turn, your soul slowly tilts. Some things you see are like raw seeds of life. When you focus on what is clean, honest, and beautiful, it forces your heart to remember me. Peace, hope, and gratitude start breathing inside you. But other things you see are like weeds planted in the dark. They will not trip you up tonight, but they quietly grow roots, feeding your fear and jealousy, bitterness, lust, and envy, self-hate, and despair. You think you are only observing this world, but the world is quietly planting toxic seeds. Subscribe and like this video to build our faith community. A garden is not ruined overnight. Weeds choke a garden the second the keeper looks away. It is the same with you. That inner spark does not just vanish from one sudden storm. Instead, it slowly dims as you let the cold dust of this world pile up over it. I watch you scroll through other people's lives while a quiet heaviness settles deep in your chest. You watch them grab what you still crave, running faster, leaving you behind in the shadows, unacknowledged. And suddenly you doubt the hard, quiet path I carved out just for you. I watch you stare at the headlines, taking in all the noise and panic, soaking up fear like cracked earth, drinking down dirty rain. I see you turning back to look at old scars, staring too long at the things that broke you, until that ancient ache colors everything you look at today. But hear me, your physical eyes only catch the surface, while I designed your spiritual sight to grasp a gritty, deeper reality. We cannot stare only at what is visible, but at what remains hidden. Just as 2 Corinthians 4:18 reminds you, since everything we can touch is fleeting, but the work I am doing in the dark carries eternal weight. Think of Elisha's servant. When the hostile army locked down the city, he looked out and saw nothing but doom. War horses, iron chariots, and a guaranteed death sentence. Looking through raw fear, he knew they were dead. But Elisha saw past the physical, saying, "Do not be afraid, for those on our side outnumber theirs." Then he pleaded, "O Lord, crack his eyes wide open so he can see." And suddenly the servant saw the entire mountain burning with horses and chariots of fire shielding them from the threat. Just as 2 Kings 6:17 records, I am speaking this straight to you right now. You are staring at your life, seeing only the walls closing in, only empty pockets, only the chaos stealing your sleep. But let me open your true eyes, and you will see grace. Unseen shields are already up. My hand is moving in the dark where you cannot see. So do not just beg me to change the scenery. Ask me to mend the broken lens you use. Many escape the storm, but keep the anxious eyes of a survivor. They walk into a fresh start, but still view the sun through the grit of old pain. They get the breakthrough, but cannot celebrate because their soul is still trained to look for the next tragedy. I want to do a deeper, raw work inside you. I want to wash the highway dust out of your eyes. Clear out the old lies that made you question your value. Wipe away the toxic images that made you forget you are mine. Pray like Psalm 119:18. Open my eyes to see the beautiful truths of your word. When I clear your vision, my scripture won't look like dry ink on a page anymore, but as a breathing map of fire, a raw love guiding you one step at a time. Understand this. There are things in this world you have to simply look away from, not to rob you or make your life boring, but to guard your heart so you can still recognize pure truth. Cut your gaze from the cheap desires that leave you empty. Look away from screens that make you hate your own flesh, your pace, your purpose, or your soul. Stop looking at the noise that feeds the rot in your chest while masquerading as innocent fun or just a tiny curiosity. Real freedom isn't letting everything into your life. It is drawing a hard line and locking the door. Just like Philippians 4:8 tells you to focus on the true, the honest, the pure, and the beautiful. I am training you to focus on what actually feeds your spirit instead of what bleeds you dry. I don't want you living on edge, but standing quiet guard. Let your eyes become clear windows of mercy when you look at broken people, not throwing cheap, instant judgment, but showing deep grace. I want you to spot me in the raw daily moments, the cold dawn, and a call from a friend, in a verse that hits you right when you are bleeding, in tears wiped dry, in those tiny, quiet clues that I never left. Once you see the world like this, those cheap neon distractions won't drag you away anymore. You will start to feel me in the very places you thought were completely dead. You will find a chance to serve where you used to see a nuisance. You will find a call to rise where you saw a trap. Hand over your sight to me today. Let me clean the dirty glass so it stops reflecting fear, bitter comparisons, and wounds. Let it reflect my light. Let me open your eyes again, the raw, burning part of you that used to walk right beside me before the grit of this world and years of hurt choked it out. You do not have to keep looking at your world through that same cracked lens. Let me give you new eyes. Eyes that see what is actually worth living for, that cut through the dark before it takes root, and lock on to me when everything around you drags you under. And the moment you focus on me, your soul will remember the dirt road back to peace. My light will break into you, settle deep, and pour out into the dark. So you are not just surviving staring at a blank wall, but truly seeing. Just breathe. Let your racing heart grow quiet under my hand. Today I am not just wrapping bandages around your old wounds. I am clearing the smoke from your eyes. Some mornings you wake up and the world is just a gray, heavy fog. You watch people move past you, feeling the rush of life, but you cannot find anything beautiful in it anymore. You miss the quiet moments of grace, the tiny sparks of hope I scatter in your path. It is not because I turned off the light, but because your eyes are exhausted from looking through tears for too many cold seasons. heavy with anxiety and letdowns. You have looked through the dust of your past so long that everything bright looks washed out. Things that used to make you smile now feel miles away. Listen to what Psalm 119 verse 18 says. Open my eyes that I may see the wonders of your word. I want to open your eyes, not just to show you the next step, but so you can actually feel alive and find real purpose again, knowing I am right here beside you. Your eyes are like a flickering lantern, and they need the oil of raw faith, gratitude, and real love. If you try to burn the dirty fuel of fear, constant comparison, or bitter doubt, that flame will choke, and the shadows will swallow everything. So, my son said in Matthew chapter 6, verse 22, "Your eye is a lamp. Keep it clear, and your whole life floods with light." Think about that. When you clear your vision, the messy pieces of your life start falling into place. You won't just see the cracks in people or view your own self through old scars. You won't stare into tomorrow waiting for the other shoe to drop. That inner light will shape how you think and speak, the choices you make, and how you hold the people right next to you. Sometimes you sit in the cold wondering why the things that used to bring you alive now leave you completely numb. Why you are just dragging yourself through the motions, barely breathing. Listen to me, my child. When your soul gets tired, your eyelids get heavy too. Drift from the fire, and everything loses its warmth. But I am not angry that your eyes are tired. I know exactly what storms have hit you. I know the dark nights that shook your candle. I know the cruel words that warped your vision, making you feel cheap, making life look like one long defeat, making me seem miles away. But I am the one who stitches up broken hearts and wraps your wounds. I can heal your eyes too, because sometimes it is not the heart that is broken, but the dusty window you are looking through. Think about the blind man in Mark chapter 8. They dragged him to my son, and he did not put on a quick show for the crowd. He took his hand, walked him away from the noise, and touched his eyes, and asked what he could see. At first, people just looked like blurry trees walking around. The light was back, but the picture was still fuzzy. So my son laid hands on his eyes a second time. Suddenly the world was sharp. Listen, your own healing often works the exact same way. I do not always snap my fingers and make things perfect. Sometimes I have to pull you out of the crowd, away from the screaming voices, away from the chaos that scrambled your mind, to gently touch you until you stop seeing life through the warped shadows of hurt. Do not give up if things are still blurry today. I am still working on you. My hand is still right there. And when you let me look straight into your soul, you will not feel scared. Because I do not judge you the way the world does. People look at the surface, at your achievements or your failures. But I look right past the packaging, into the deep, quiet places where you are running on empty, where your faith needs a spark and your peace needs to be rebuilt. Because God does not see what people see. Humans look at the outside, but God looks straight at the heart. Like 1 Samuel 16:7 says, "Stop fearing. I have my eyes right on you." One look from me can dissolve the thick fog years of fear built around you. It reminds you that you are not forgotten, not broken, and not swallowed by the dark. When I look at you, I command your inner light to wake up. I need you to keep your eyes filled with holy oil. Nourish your vision with my words. Find gratitude in small things. Show mercy. Choose hard truth over illusions, and worship instead of comparison. When you find grace hidden in a completely ordinary day, you pour oil into your lamp. And when you look at someone who once drove you crazy, and pray for them instead of judging, your light burns brighter. When you stop looking at yourself with self-contempt and see the truth that you are my deeply loved child, the eyes of your soul start to shine again. Philippians 4 verse 8 says to focus your mind on whatever is true, honorable, and just, pure and lovely. This is how I guard your vision from the cheap fake colors of this world. So come close. Let me wipe your eyes clean and wash away the heavy dust of disappointment, the suffocating smoke of anxiety, and the veil of cruel words that made you forget your dignity. Let me give you back the clear vision of the Holy Spirit so you can navigate the narrow path. You will spot hope before things even change and find raw beauty where life once burned to ashes. When you come back to me, your inner light will not just shine for you, but for everyone stumbling in the dark beside you. You will walk guided by heaven's light, not by shadows. And from this day on, when the morning breaks, you won't just see the sun outside your window. You will feel my presence living inside you, gentle, raw, and impossible to put out, leading you step by step to real peace. My child, let me clear your vision, because real blindness doesn't always happen in the physical eyes, and real wisdom never comes from human logic. Some people see streets, faces, and bright lights, but deep down they have completely lost the actual meaning of being alive. They wake up to millions of digital images, yet their souls are still stumbling through a thick fog because their sight is choked by fear, comparison, raw wounds, and loud outside voices. You have been there too. You viewed the entire world through the lens of your deepest wounds, judging others by their worst mistakes, and defining yourself only by your biggest failures, wondering why your whole world felt so heavy and cold. But today I am calling you to a completely different way of seeing a vision lit by faith, because we walk by faith, not sight. As 2 Corinthians 5:7 says, we aren't denying reality, but refusing to let our current circumstances have the final, loudest word over your soul. Learn to look through the eyes of heaven, where we don't measure people by their wreckage, but by what I can still rebuild inside them. The world spots the stains before the seeds of life. It sees history instead of grace, and weakness instead of the raw potential I planted deep inside. But I don't see things the way humans do. When Samuel went to Jesse's house to find a king, he was fooled by the big, impressive-looking sons. But I stepped in and made it clear. People judge by outward appearance, but the Lord looks straight at the heart. Let those words from 1 Samuel 16 change how you see. There are broken souls around you, covered in failure, yet I still see them as powerful instruments of mercy. You might have judged them too fast before, but look at them through a love I have purified, and you will find discernment without bitterness and mercy without blindness. You, too, must stop treating yourself like a rap sheet of mistakes. I don't call you by the name of your failures. I don't define you by the times you were late, doubtful, weak, or completely lost. I see the raw rebirth I am doing in you, the new life pushing up through the soil of this confusing season. If anyone is in Christ, they are a brand new creation. The old wreckage is gone. Look, everything is new. Like 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, do you see it? I am not asking you to fake your history. I am only asking you not to let your past dictate how you see the present. When my love cleanses your heart's eyes, you won't view your deep wounds as a life sentence, but as the raw cracks where my grace got in. You won't see unfinished roads as worthless, but as stories I can still redeem. Like and subscribe to join our faith community. Think of the blind man in John chapter 9. The disciples just stared, debating whose fault it was, reducing his pain to a math equation of guilt and cause. But my son saw him differently. He did not write him off because of his brokenness or trap his future in lifelong darkness. Instead, he said this was so God's power could be put on display. Then he knelt and made mud, rubbed it on the blind eyes, and sent him to wash. The man came back, seeing everything. My child, look closely. That story is about you. Right now, your eyes see only setbacks, dead ends, and unfair pain in your life and the world around you. But in my hands, those exact broken spaces are where my glory breaks through. Stop jumping to desperate conclusions. Sit with me and ask, Father, what are you building here? The world drains you because it forces you to watch everything while seeing absolutely nothing. It feeds you endless screens to compare yourself to, leaving you hating who you are. Lying voices whisper that you have to change before you can be loved. Your gaze darts constantly from one screen to another, but your soul never gets a moment of real rest. You search all day and end up empty, drowning in noise without hearing a thing, constantly rushing forward, yet never feeling truly alive. Let me pull you out of that noise. I want to slow you down so you can feel my grace in the quiet. See my fingerprints in the messy, ordinary moments. See the quiet beauty of a life wrapped in my light. Pray with Psalm 119, verse 18. Open my eyes to see the wonders of your law, because when I peel back your blindness, even the most mundane things reveal my presence. Let me wash away the grit of exhaustion, the smoke of panic, and the thick fog of past wounds. Once your eyes clear, this world won't feel like a dark, threatening cage anymore, but a landscape where grace can grow through simple kindness and raw forgiveness, faith and stubborn hope. You'll stop treating tomorrow like a heavy sentence you just have to survive, but as a sacred space to walk with me. You'll even look at the people who broke your trust, not to let them back in, but so anger stops holding you hostage. You will view your own scars with deep mercy, not self-hatred. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 18 speaks of floodlights opening in your heart to see my hope. That's what I'm doing in you. Not just shifting what you look at, but completely changing the light you see everything by. So, draw close and let me teach you how to see again. Quit staring at toxic screens and false promises that only leave you dry. Don't let the loud, shallow crowd dictate what's beautiful, valuable, or worth hoping for. Hand over your sight. I'll teach you to trace paths of faith where cold logic only sees brick walls. To choose love when your instinct is to lock down. To run with wisdom when hot emotions scream for instant judgment. Keep your gaze locked on me, and the fog will start lifting. That heavy chest will slowly begin to lighten. You'll realize the light never actually went out. It was just waiting for you to turn your face back toward the source. Look up at me. In this light, you won't just see the world differently. You'll see yourself clean, fiercely loved, and guided, pulled forward into a hope that won't rust out. My child, let your tired eyes rest in my warmth. Drink this in like cracked, dusty earth drinking the first storm. Quit squinting at life through the smoke of old wounds and thick panic, through the warped lies your past threw in your face and forced you to believe. Pain distorted what you saw, turning ordinary shadows into monsters that aren't actually there. You looked at people through the lens of betrayal, seeing only threats instead of potential grace. There were mornings you woke up feeling like a total failure, forgetting I was still breathing life into your lungs. Today, let me clear your vision. As Psalm 36 verse 9 says, "In your light, we see light." You only see reality when you look through my eyes. Then even the tiny details carry deep meaning. Boring moments start smelling like heaven, and things you thought were dead will show green shoots of new life. I didn't design your eyes just to process data, but to be windows of a soul soaked in grace. Once your eyes clear, you won't stumble through the days like an exhausted traveler, just trying to survive until sunset. You'll start catching glimpses of me in quiet details, a brief smile during a dark hour, a cool breeze when your chest feels tight, a quiet hand reaching out in the dark, a sudden shaft of light hitting you just when you thought the day was total darkness. A healed soul does not need booming thunder to know I am right here. They spot my footprints in the simplest things, because their heart is no longer calloused by pain. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 12 reminds us that the hearing ear and seeing eye are my creations. Use them for life. Stop wasting them on the things that leave you empty. Think of blind Bartimaeus sitting in the Jericho dirt. Crowds ignored him. The noise was deafening. The world screamed at him to just shut up. Yet, deep inside his blindness, his faith was sharp enough to sense that my son was walking right toward him. His eyes were dark, but his soul was wide awake. He could not see my son's face, but he knew the sound of hope approaching. When my son called out, he ripped off his heavy coat, leaped up and ran forward, and when light flooded his eyes, he did not just look around. He immediately followed the man who gave him vision. My child, this is exactly what I want to do for you right now. I do not just want to show you a beautiful world. I want to guide your feet. I do not just want to open tired eyes. I want to give you fresh sight so you can drop that heavy coat of fear, doubt, and lies you believe about yourself. Your inner fire was never meant for the dark. It is just buried under the dust of some brutal, painful seasons, buried by sleepless nights and the weight of constant letdowns, choked out by the cruel things people whispered to you, making you believe your spark was worthless. But I am the one who lit that fire in the first place, and what my breath sparks this harsh world cannot blow out. My son said it clearly in Matthew 5:15 that nobody lights a lamp just to hide it under a bucket. You put it on a table, so it lights up the whole room. My child, I did not put my fire inside you so you could hide under fear. I did not give you grace to watch you shiver in the shadow of your past. I am calling you back to the light, to lead you out of your own dark night, and to warm the freezing souls around you. When your eyes are full of light, your words will carry that same warmth. Once your soul is clean, you will stop sizing people up with quick, harsh judgments. You will see the raw potential in broken people and spot the agony hiding behind their cold armor. You will know how to love deeply without letting yourself get stepped on. My light does not make you a target. It makes you sharp, but not bitter, kind, but not soft, merciful, but strong enough to draw a line. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 8 reminds you that you were once pitch black, but now you are light. Step out like it. Living in the light means you stop hunting for reasons to stay angry, and you stop measuring your life against others. You stop staring at the things that starve your faith and focus on what actually feeds your soul, peace and deep gratitude. Let this truth sink right into your bones. The spark you want is not miles away. You think you have to wait for your luck to change for a phone call, for a breakthrough, or some perfect sign before you feel alive again. But the fire starts when you realize I am already inside you, whispering life back into your quietest, broken spaces. Christ in you, the hope of glory. Colossians chapter 2, verse 27. This hope is not some faraway daydream. It is my actual life pulsing inside you right now, today. When you look at me, you can stop hunting for answers in the dark like a lost soul. Just let the walls crumble, so my fire inside you can blaze again. Let me wash the grit from your eyes with raw truth. Let me wipe away the heavy ash of disappointment and the smoke of doubt and the scars of things that taught you to look at life through fear. Let my grace fuel your soul so your fire stops flickering in the wind. So thankfulness is not choked by past grief, and your love is not frozen solid by old, unhealed wounds. When I do this, you will finally see yourself the way your Father does, not as someone crushed by life, but as my child being rebuilt, set on fire, and sent out to show my gentleness. My child walk with brand new vision. Treat every single morning like a clean page of grace. See other people as souls I am still shaping, and see yourself as a light I have never, ever abandoned. Keep your focus locked on me and watch the fog in your life slowly burn away. When your soul glows, you remind others hope is real. Like this video, subscribe, and let us build this faith community together. If you still carry peace after so many brutal, storm-filled seasons, your life will quietly whisper, "My light does not come from this world, but from the one who first sparked it, the one who guarded it through your absolute darkest night, and the one who will keep on shining through me until other lost, weary souls find their way back home." My beloved child, just breathe and look closely at what has left you so completely exhausted. Did you actually believe that if the world finally noticed you, if you stood in the bright spotlight of success, holding all the things others chase? You have chased so many false lights, sparks that flash bright for a quick second, but they are never warm enough to comfort your soul when the dark closes in. Human praise only lasts for a moment. Money might make you feel safe for an hour. Achievements might win you some temporary fans. But if my presence does not light you from the inside out, that external glory will vanish like heat lightning. My son promised, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but have the light of life." Written in John chapter 8. My child, the light you actually need is not some blinding spotlight from a stage, but the raw life flowing directly from my presence in your absolute deepest parts. I set a sacred pilot light inside you from your very first breath. You didn't build that fire, and you cannot keep it burning with your own perfection. It is my spirit breathing inside you, heaven's fingerprint on your heart. A spark of pure light I gave you, so you could always find the path home when the shadows close in. I know there were times you thought that flame died, crushed by disappointment, tripped up by your own mistakes, choked by days of thick smoke and bone-deep fatigue. But listen, what my grace ignites is never as fragile as your feelings. It might get buried. It might flicker low, surrounded by the heavy ash of your exhaustion, but it is still burning, waiting for the oil of quiet connection with me to feed it. As Zechariah wrote, "Not by human might nor power, but by my spirit." Stop trying to force a glare through raw willpower. Come back to the source of the oil, and I will make your inner flame burn fiercely once again. Let this truth sink deep into your bones. That pilot light cannot burn hot if your soul is choked with smoke that never came from me. When your heart carries toxic envy, comparisons, bitterness, lies, and fear, and that desperate itch for validation, your inner light starts to choke, like a candle gasping in a room with no oxygen. I do not say this to shame you, but to show you why you can have everything on paper while feeling completely hollow inside. You cannot burn the applause of crowds as fuel for a flame meant for the spirit. You cannot feed a soul built for me on cheap, fleeting attention. Your word is a lamp to my feet, a guide for my path, as Psalm 119 says. If you want to walk steady through the pitch black of this era, let my voice be your only compass, guiding your steps instead of letting cheap worldly lights define your value. Think of those 5 wise virgins and the foolish ones in Matthew chapter 25. Every single one had a lamp. Every single one waited, but they didn't all pack spare oil. When the night dragged on and the shout came, the dry lamps sputtered and died. But those who prepared walked straight into the celebration. Listen, child, that story isn't just about waiting. It is about your internal landscape. Some people carry the shell of faith, but have zero real connection with me. They clutch their empty lamps hollowed out on the inside. I refuse to let you put on a show while you slowly starve inside. Meet me every single day in raw, honest prayer, in quiet gratitude, and small, unseen moments of obedience. That is the oil keeping your flame alive through the night. The spark I put inside you was never meant to be hoarded. I didn't light you up to hide under fear or insecurity, or the exhausting excuses that keep you from stepping into what you were actually made for. My son was clear in Matthew chapter 5, verse 15. You don't light a lamp and hide it under a bucket. You set it high to light the whole house. You do not have to be famous to burn bright. Every time you choose quiet love instead of bitter revenge, that lamp flares up. Every time you choose hard truth over easy lies, the light grows. Every single time you forgive instead of letting your heart freeze over in cold bitterness, my light pierces through you to reach them. Weary souls are not searching for hope in flashy, grand sermons right now, but by seeing someone who still holds on to kindness through their scars and carries peace when everything falls apart, who lives honestly in a world wearing masks. So never look down on those quiet choices you make. A massive fire starts with a tiny spark of devotion. A soft word can thaw a frozen heart. One honest moment can prove to someone that truth matters, and forgiveness offered through raw tears can shatter decades of family bitterness. Philippians 2:15 calls you to stand blameless in the middle of a close, twisted generation, burning like stars in the dark. But you do not shine by looking down on anyone. You shine through mercy, tough grit, and pure love. A life where my face is visible in every single choice, every heavy step, and every quiet breath. Today, I am calling you back from those cheap, fading fireworks. Return to the fire that never dies. Do not sell your peace for cheap applause. Do not let your own lamp go dark while chasing neon signs that cannot save you. Let me pour fresh oil onto your tired soul. Let us clear the smoke and soot choking your light and bring back the raw joy of being mine. When you rest in my presence, you will not have to exhaust yourself trying to burn bright. That glow will just spill over from a heart fed by raw grace. And then, in this pitch-black world, your life becomes a steady, quiet beacon, guiding broken people to see that hope is still alive, that love is still real, and my light will never be swallowed by the dark. My child, I know those moments when you stare at your brokenness, terrified that the flame inside is about to die. You worry that one more slip-up will blow it out forever. You fear the freezing, sharp words of this world, the absolute silence of others, and those heavy days when nobody notices your struggle, or those empty seasons of unanswered prayers, believing they will finally freeze your heart solid. But listen to me closely. The fire I lit inside you is no fragile spark fueled by shifting feelings. It was not built on your perfection, and it does not survive on your strength alone. It draws from my own breath, my endless life, and a love poured deep into you before you even had a name. For you light my lamp. The Lord my God shatters my darkness. If I am the hand that set the fire, then no shadow has the right to snuff it out. You will face seasons when that flame shrinks to a tiny spark, making you think it died. Maybe you have dragged yourself through bone-deep disappointment, exhaustion, deep wounds, and failures, wondering if I can even see a trace of light left in you. But remember the promise made to you. He will not break a bruised reed, and he will not blow out a smoldering wick. As Isaiah 42:3 says, I do not discard you the way this world discards the weak. The world steps right over what is fading, ignores the small, and only cheers for the loud, blinding fires. But I kneel in the dirt beside your dying spark, shield it from the cold wind, and breathe life back into it, bringing it back to a roaring flame with the tender care only a father can provide. Do not let the enemy convince you that one failure ruins your sacred light. Do not let these dry desert seasons convince you that I have abandoned you. Your fire has not gone out. It is simply waiting for a gentle touch. Those hearts are not dead. They are just empty. And that oil is never found by striving harder to prove you are strong enough, or by exhausting yourself to fit the mold of what others demand you to be. That oil comes from resting in me, raw prayer, and stepping into the light without hiding. It comes from thankfulness in the quiet moments and cracking open scripture to let my promises drip like fuel onto your heart. Fan into flame the gift I gave you, as 2 Timothy 1:6 says, but do it without panic. Turn back to the source of that first spark. Think of the widow of Zarephath during Elijah's time. She had nothing but a handful of flour and a tiny splash of oil, certain it was her final meal before the end. But when she trusted me and surrendered that tiny piece, her jar of flour never emptied, and her jug of oil never ran dry. Exactly as I promised through the prophet. My child, that miracle is not just about bread and physical survival. It is about my endless supply when your soul feels completely hollow. You might believe your oil is running out. Your faith feels too small, your arms too tired. But if you place that tiny fragment into my hands, I will make it overflow. I never demanded you have a full warehouse of strength before coming to me. Just open your heart, trust my endless supply, and subscribe to build this quiet community of faith. Your lamp is burning bright again. You'll realize hope doesn't always roar when it returns. Sometimes it's just a lighter breath, a raw, honest whisper, a tear that is no longer hopeless, a morning when your chest finally loosens. Then a quiet dawn begins to break inside, slowly but unstoppable. It cuts through the fog on your path, showing you exactly what is worth holding on to, what you need to let go. What is my voice and what is just noise? As that fire catches, people around you will feel the heat. They won't understand the work I've done deep in your bones, but they'll see a peace they can't explain, a kindness forged in hard times, and a flame the longest, coldest night couldn't put out. This world is choked with fake neon, dazzling loud and freezing cold hollow lamps begging for attention. But the world doesn't need more people performing for a crowd. It needs souls who simply stay rooted in me, who carry the quiet oil of grace in their chests, breathing with the Holy Spirit through the ordinary grit of life. You don't need a massive stage to shine. Sometimes your light is just a soft word to a broken soul, through holding your tongue when you are hurt, staying honest in the dark, and praying for the very person who broke your heart. That light cuts through the dark, and the shadows can never conquer it. Like John 1:5 says, true power doesn't need to put on a show. It only needs to burn steadily, right here with me. Keep in mind the spark I gave. You isn't to boost your ego. It is so others can find me. When you choose love over bitterness and forgive with clear eyes, when you live raw and honest in a fake world, choosing the hard right when no one everyone is clapping. You are putting that lamp right on the table. My son said, "Let your light shine before people, so they see your good actions and honor your Father in heaven." That is Matthew 5:16. Don't you see, the light doesn't stop with you. It flows right through you to guide lost travelers home. Your breathing life becomes quiet proof that grace is solid and healing is real, and your Father is still igniting cold hearts that thought they were dead and gone. So, don't sweat dropping that lamp like it's all on your shaky hands. Hand it over to me every morning. Stay clean, not by straining, but by staying close to me. Let me fill your empty cup with fresh oil. Cup your hands around the flame when the gale blows. Wipe away the grime when life clouds your heart. If you drift off, come back. If your knees buckle, lean hard. When the flame starts to sputter, pull closer to the fire. I haven't abandoned you, and the spark I ignited inside you is still mine. Keep burning, my dear child, not with cheap earthly ambition, but with your Father's heartbeat. Burn in quiet, in grit, in love, and in truth. That light will travel farther than you think, warming strangers you'll never see, clearing a path for folks stumbling in the dark, and bringing honor to my name through the life I rebuilt. My dear child, don't let the shadows shake you, as if they hold more power than the spark I put in your chest. The dark can fill a house, but a tiny match kills it. The night might drag on, but it can't stop the morning from breaking, right on my schedule. So those seasons when your soul feels frozen, your faith is paper thin, and your prayers are bone dry, that is no proof the spark is dead. It's just a sign you need to bring your cold lamp back to the forge. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? As Psalm 27 verse 1 proclaims. If I am your light, shadows can threaten, but they can't conquer your soul while you stand with me. I know you've looked in the mirror and seen nothing but smoke, just ashes and a flickering wick, fighting the cold winds of disappointment. You prayed and felt your voice drop into a black void. You searched for me and found nothing but silence. You dragged yourself through days with zero signs, wondering if I had walked away for good. But my child, my silence is never my absence. Sometimes I'm training you to tell real fire from fake glitter between a flame fed by the Holy Spirit and cheap earthly sparks. Fake light needs a microphone to get noticed. Real light burns in the quiet and still shows the path. Earthly shine burns you out because you're always acting. Real light brings deep rest because it flows from me, not your desperate hustle to prove your worth. This city is packed with shiny lamps, but their wells are dry. They show off through status, praise, and power, chasing outward flash, while deep inside their chest, they stay cold and hollow. I do not want you to be a hollow neon sign. Do not perform for the crowd while you choke silently on the fumes of fear inside. This quiet resentment or poison. My son said it clearly. Your eyes are the window to your body. Keep them clear and you will be flooded with light. Matthew 6:22 warns us, whatever you stare at will either feed your soul or slowly starve it to death. Keep your gaze locked on me, and my light will slowly realign your whole world. But if you linger in the shadows, that cold dark will creep into your chest. So stay alert, but do not panic. The shadows do not always wear a monster's face. They are rarely that obvious. They arrive as soft whispers, promising it is harmless, that a tiny taste will not hurt, that everyone else does it, and you can stay bright while flirting with the dark. But kid, even a hairline crack lets the smoke choke out a room. One careless look can drop a toxic seed in your chest. A tiny habit can quiet your warnings until you stop feeling the danger. Ephesians 5:8 says, "You once lived in that dark, but now you are light." So move like someone born of the day. You're not just dodging the shadows around you. You are stepping into who you truly are. Look at Daniel in Babylon, surrounded by a city trying to steal his soul, dragged into a foreign world, forced to speak their tongue, and offered the gold and feasts of the empire. But he drew a line in the dirt. He chose not to compromise, not out of fear or arrogance, but with a quiet grit, protecting his heart in the tiny daily details that others just ignored. The palace could not drown out his flame. And when the traps closed in lions' plots and raw power, I kept him safe. Now, my child, I'm calling you to that same raw, unshakable resolve. Do not live in constant anxiety, but stay awake. Do not hate the world around you. Just refuse to let it mold your soul. There are screams and sights you must look away from so your lungs can finally breathe. Shut out the images that make you numb to decay. Avert your gaze from things that feed raw anger, lust, and bitter grudges, envy, and deep despair. Turn from the flashy neon lights that only leave you starving for more without making you clean. Staring at the dark leaves soot on your thoughts, your sharp reactions, your speech, how you love, and how you see your own reflection. But look at me and watch the light scrub the grime from your inside out. Psalm 34:5 says, "Those who look to him are radiant, their faces never smeared with shame." Locking eyes with me will never hollow you out. It calls you back to your true self. I do not want you burning fuel out of panic that you might go out, but from the quiet joy of being right here. Keep your lamp full with raw prayer, honest apologies, giving thanks for the scraps, and letting my truth cut through the fog in your head daily. Listen to my spirit when the peace starts draining, when a seemingly clean habit quietly drags you away from purity or starts choking your light. I do not nudge you to steal your fun. I do it to guard the very heartbeat of your soul. I am not looking for a wild, sudden flare that burns out in seconds. I want a steady, clean, patient heat, warm enough to thaw the freezing people around you. When your internal fire burns clean again, you will see that I did not just drag you out of your own pit. You will be a lighthouse, showing others the way home. One kind, honest look from you can show a broken stranger they are not forgotten. One real, unvarnished word might pull someone back from a cliff. A quiet act of kindness will light up dark corners you never knew you reached. My son said in Matthew 5:16, "Let your light spill out, so they see your good work and honor your Father in heaven." That fire does not end with you. It passes through you, reflecting back to me. So do not fear the dark, my child, but do not play with it either. Do not shake like an orphan in the cold, but do not unlock the door to thieves of your peace. Stand in my spotlight. Give me your eyes, your heart, your mind, and your secret vices. I will scrub away the soot, pour fresh oil, guard your spark from the howling wind, and make your life a burning torch in this dark, cold world. Darkness might stare you down, whispering your name in the dark. It tries to drag you back to those nights when you broke down. But it cannot kill my light. That spark inside you was lit by eternity, protected in my hands. Keep holding on to me, and that fire will keep burning, keeping you warm, guiding you forward, until others find their own way back home. Let me step closer, right up to the window of your tired soul, where things used to be clear, but now a thick layer of grit has settled over the glass. Your inner light is not dead. The shadows did not swallow it, and your worst mistakes did not rub it out. What actually happened is your vision just got blurred slowly, day after day, until you believed this world is just cold concrete and gray skies, and that nobody can be trusted, that you are just a pile of broken shards on the floor. But that is not how your story ends. Grime does not pile up overnight. It builds with every heavy worry you tried to carry alone, every sharp word you swallowed, and every single time you judged yourself with pure hatred, every tiny lie you tolerated, until you woke up looking at the world through dirty glass, calling that dark view reality. I do not blame you for being exhausted. I know the brutal things you have witnessed, the chaos you endured, that scarred your very soul. You still carry memories inside, like deep, invisible bruises. Sharp words cut you so deep that now you expect a blow before anyone even gets close to you. You tried to bury your mistakes in the backyard, but they still whisper that you do not belong in the light. But I am not here to point fingers or shame you for the dirt on your face. I came to wipe it clean. I will not kick down your locked doors just to leave you shivering and exposed. I come the way a father kneels beside a kid who has been sobbing in the dark, saying, "Lean into me. Let me rebuild what you thought was ruined." As Psalm 51:10 says, "Create a clean heart in me, God, and put a new, right spirit inside me." Look closely. Do not condemn yourself. Just see what blurred your eyes. A fear you lock away turns into thick fog. A lie you swallow becomes a bent lens. A wound you hide from me makes you see everyone as a threat, love as a dangerous trap, and tomorrow as a setup for heartbreak. When your very soul is bruised and bleeding, you misread everyone, especially yourself. You stare at a single mistake and call it your name. You experience a dry, quiet season and assume I abandoned you, crying in the dark, thinking I went silent. But I want to clear your eyes so you can see the truth hidden behind the delay. I am working in the ruins. I am rebuilding things in the pitch black where you cannot see. My fire is waiting for you to turn around. Remember Saul walking down that dusty Damascus road. He thought his vision was perfect, thought he was fighting for God. But he was blind, driven by raw pride, anger, and a heavy, dark zeal. Then a blinding flash from heaven slammed him to the dirt, where he heard my son shouting his name. For days he was completely blind, but in that darkness I was opening his inner sight. When hands were laid on him, crusty scales peeled right off his eyes, and his sight returned, just like Acts 9:18 says. I can peel those same invisible scales from your eyes. The crust of wounds, doubt, and armor, and all the toxic lies you believed about me, about people, and about yourself. Someone trapped in the dark can carry the sunrise if they let me touch them. So breathe this simple prayer to me. Father, wash my eyes. Scrub away the grime that built up over all these years. Show me how to see through the Holy Spirit, not through old scars, and not through the voice of terror, not through the ugly pictures the past carved into my chest. You do not need pretty words to pray. Just crack your chest open. I will wash the film away with heavy grace, touching the raw places you tried to hide from the sun. I will soften the scars that turned into armor. I will not pretend your painful history never happened, but I am going to break its power over you. Open my eyes so I can see the beautiful truth in your word, as Psalm 119:18 prays. And once your eyes snap open, you will see my kindness, my clear path, and my relentless love waiting for you. When I touch your eyes with mercy, everything shifts. You will look at the one who broke your trust, not as some monster still holding the keys to your life, but as a broken soul searching for the same dawn. Though you do not have to open every door, you will look at the fallen and see beyond the wreckage, finding what I can still rebuild from the dust. You will stop seeing yourself as damaged goods and finally realize you are a child I am gently putting back together. This mercy is not blind. It cuts the heavy chains of bitterness. It grants you clear sight to spot danger without letting fear build a cage around your heart. As 2 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 18 says, "When you look closely at my beauty, my breath changes you step by step. Suddenly you will spot my hand in the quiet corners you used to ignore, in the raw joy of a child, in the cold wind waking up your tired face, or a stranger extending a hand when the weight gets too heavy, in ancient words that suddenly burn with truth, or in a sudden stillness that holds you steady right in the eye of the storm. When the smog clears from your vision, this life will stop feeling like a sentence you just have to survive and become a dirt path where my kindness leaves tracks. The constant exhausting cynicism will fade, replaced by my quiet protection over you. My fierce love never runs dry. My compassion does not collapse. It wakes up fresh with every single sunrise. Just like Lamentations chapter 3 verses 22 and 23 says, "Each dawn is a clean slate to wash away yesterday's dust." Come here, my child. Let me wash the grit from your soul today. Stop holding on to the dirt just because you are used to the dark. Do not run from the sun, because my warmth is not here to burn you. I am here to break the fog that made you forget whose blood runs in your veins. I want to give you back your original sight, wild, bright, and clean as the first day we met, not blind to the dark, but anchored in the truth. Let me touch your eyes, and you will see that the spark never died. It was just buried deep under the debris, hidden under the terror and the long nights you spent stumbling in circles. Just look back at me and watch the world clear up. See that I am standing right here. See that you are wanted. See that this heavy world, despite the deep shadows, still has narrow trails where my dawn breaks in. All it takes is one child letting their father wipe away the tears. My child, when your sight is restored, you will see this life was never as barren and hollow as exhaustion tried to tell you. The small details you used to ignore will suddenly hold a holy, living pulse. The warmth of a single sunbeam on your skin, the rustle of dry leaves, a quick, genuine text from a friend. Just a boring, quiet Tuesday that somehow overflows with peace. You will finally know I never walked away from you. The eyes of your heart simply got caked in the mud of worry old scars and the constant noise of the crowd. When you can see clearly, you will find me not just in split seas, but in the raw air filling your lungs, in your quiet, steady pulse, and in every tiny chance to show mercy and take another step. Like Psalm 34 verse 5 says, "Look at him and you will glow. You will never have to hide your face. Look at me and see how quickly disgrace loses its grip on your eyes. Let your heart catch fire again, with a hope that does not care about your bills or bank account. This spark isn't just a cozy feeling. Your mind is not some vacant lot where any garbage can dump itself. Your very skin and bones are a sacred temple. As 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 19 reminds us, your body is the holy place where my spirit lives. So do not treat your eyes like cheap windows looking at a dirty street. They are massive gates leading straight into your sanctuary. The things you watch, what you hear, and what you chew on in the dark do not stay skin deep. They sink to your core, burying roots in your memory, your raw desires, and your core beliefs. Some grow into quiet joy and real peace. Others choke you with the weeds of panic rage and jealousy, lies, and cold apathy. Listen to me. I have shielded your soul, but you still have to stand guard at the doors. My grace does not mean you lay down your weapons. You cannot throw your doors open to toxic trash and expect the fire inside you to keep burning bright. Guard your flame. Protect your heart above everything else, because your whole life bleeds out from there. Just like Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23 warns. This is not about being afraid of the dark. It is about knowing that whatever you feed your mind today runs through your veins tomorrow. Keep your eyes clear. Join our community by liking and subscribing to stay strong together. Feeding on things that harden your heart will slowly numb you, making you deaf to the quiet whisper of my voice. Think of Nehemiah returning to a ruined Jerusalem. The city walls were smashed down, and the heavy gates lay blackened by fire, leaving the town wide open to every threat. But he did not just sit there crying over the rubble. He stood up, prayed, and started rebuilding. He stationed guards at the exposed gaps, and when threats came, he refused to walk away from the work I trusted him with. My child, your own heart needs that same raw vigilance. You have broken gates right now, cracked by pain, worn down by bad habits, and breached by toxic things you let inside. Those cheap words and images broke through too often. But I am not here to shame you for your brokenness. I want us to rebuild together. Let me show you which doors to lock, which walls to patch up, and which old habits to throw away. Tell me, what empty spaces do we need to fill with my truth? Never ignore the tiny cracks. Smoke does not ask for a wide open door. Give it a tiny sliver of space, and it will seep in, staining the walls, choking out the air and choking the lamp's light. That is how poison, anger, and lies work on your heart. Bitter thoughts and dark media do not usually destroy you in a single sudden crash. Usually, they just put you to sleep. The things that used to break your heart start to look totally normal. Cruel things become simple entertainment. The very struggles that used to drive you to your knees no longer move you. I am telling you to watch out, not to steal your joy or ruin your fun, but because I want to protect the life inside you from the slow leaks that drain you dry. Shutting out the dark is not losing your freedom. You are fiercely guarding true freedom. This world says freedom is seeing everything, hearing everything, trying everything, and swallowing it all without a second thought. But I tell you that real freedom means nothing has power over you. It is the strength to walk away from what weighs you down, knowing how to turn your back on what feeds your demons, and choosing what is clean, even in the pitch black. Focus on what is true, what is honest, what is right, pure and beautiful. Fill your mind with good things. Just as Philippians 4:8 tells us, your thoughts are shaped by what you let through the door. Feed your eyes with things that actually bring life. That way your heart won't have to fight weeds that should never have taken root. I do not want you just dodging bad things. I want you looking for the sacred. See me standing right there in the middle of your messy, ordinary day. Let my truth be the backdrop of your thoughts. See hurting people with deep compassion, but do not let pity blind your judgment. Look at this wild world with hope, without turning a blind eye to the shadows. I will give you eyes that see clearly, eyes that are gentle but tough as nails. Once your vision clears, cheap neon lights won't trick you anymore. You will instantly know what brings real rest and what robs you of it, what pulls you close into my arms, and what drowns out my voice in the noise. So, right now, put your hand over your chest and tell me, Father, guard the doors of my heart. Show me when to open up and when to lock the door. Wash away the trashy images, the cheap words, and the noise that stole the innocence I used to have. I will hear you, and I will stand guard right there beside you. I will flag the danger with a quiet gut feeling through my truth and the whisper of the Holy Spirit, or that sudden urge to freeze before taking another step. When you listen to those soft warnings, the fire inside you will burn bright, solid, and steady again. You will taste grace in every breath. You will find me in the quiet moments, realizing you are a sacred temple, being heavily protected, lit up from the inside, and set out to bring hope to a cold world that desperately needs to know there is still real life out here, my child. Let these words sink deep. I am not trying to scare you of this world, but to wake you up to the fight. I have wrapped you in my fierce protective love, paved your path with grace, and yanked you back from traps you never even saw coming. But I gave you the keys. I will not kick down and lock the doors you keep choosing to open. I want to shield you, but if you keep feeding your eyes and ears with the very things that hurt you and letting your thoughts run wild, then you are leaving this holy temple completely unguarded. Inside you, choking on the thick smoke of things that do not belong to me. Guard your eyes like a tired sentry keeping watch over a dark city through the night, not out of fear, but with steady wisdom. The dark isn't stronger, but that spark inside you is too rare to waste. Keep in mind, your eyes don't just stare, they actually carve out a path. Whatever you let slip past your gaze will settle deep inside your thoughts, and from there it will slowly find a way to your heart. And once inside, it dictates your words, your hard reactions, and what you ache for most. That is why my words in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8 aren't just sweet advice. They are a survival guide. Focus on what is true, honest, right, and clean, the beautiful and the good. Keep your focus there, my child. A thought doesn't just appear, it walks through a door. You need to ask yourself if what you are watching brings you closer to what is holy, or quietly numbs you to the dirt. Ask if the things you hear deepen your respect for me, or slowly teach you to laugh at what is good. Does that light you chase really warm you, or does it just blind you, leaving you freezing in the dark when it goes out? I want your eyes to look out toward heaven, not serve as cracks where the world's toxic smoke slips inside. Turn your gaze to truth, and your lungs will finally breathe clean air. Look at what is pure, and peace washes over you. Focus your eyes on me, and my light won't just hit you, it will burn through you. Psalm 101 verse 3 says, I will put no vile thing before my eyes. That isn't the pride of a person pretending they are perfect. It is the raw promise of a soul that knows what you look at today is the war you fight tomorrow. You don't have to test every shadow just to prove it's cold. You don't need to taste every poison the world praises just to show you are independent. Real freedom is walking away from the physical pull, because you already know your soul belongs to the bright daylight. Think about Joseph in Potiphar's house. He was trapped in a secret, heavy temptation, relentless and easy behind closed doors. No crowd was there. No divine lightning bolt warned him. Just a quiet, brutal choice in the dark. Still, Joseph asked, how could I do this terrible thing and sin against my God? Just like Genesis 39 verse 9 says. He didn't stay to bargain with the dark. He didn't linger staring at the very thing trying to drag him down. He ran, leaving his coat behind. But he kept the fire in his soul alive. That loyalty got him thrown into a cold cell for a while. But he never slipped from my grip. Eventually, that spark he protected in the dark turned into a wisdom that saved nations. My child, there are times you just have to walk away, not out of weakness, but because you refuse to let the fire I put inside you burn out. If this message brought you some peace in the middle of your storm, please take a second to hit the like button. It helps this video reach someone else who might be sitting in the dark right now. Don't forget to subscribe and join our faith community. We are building a space where we can stand together, sharing the weight of this journey. You are never as alone as you feel. Drop a comment below if you need prayer, or simply write Amen to claim this promise today. Let's protect the light together. Thank you for walking this narrow path with me. May His peace guard your heart and mind tonight. Keep the flame alive. God bless you. Amen.